training mentality and how you approach a role and how much value that has for your development. Because that's something else I think the community just does very, very poorly. Like the way that most people roll. So like anytime someone comes to my gym, that's one of the questions I ask them is like, are you leg lock friendly, basically, right? Are you a fellow traveler or leg lock or whatever? And then the other question I ask them is, do you have any injuries that I need to know about? Do you have any physical concerns?
I kind of tie this into having sort of a low EQ.
I wouldn't say that I have a high EQ because I'm at least a little autistic, right? Like I've had to figure out that, eye contact is something you're supposed to maintain with people in conversation, right? Like, or even make. When I was a teenager, if I was talking to somebody I didn't know, I'd be looking at the floor a lot of the time. So I had to, like, as a young adult, I had to figure out what sort of behaviors are, expected of me in social situations. And I'm not good at it. So the way that I approach it is I go and I read books on like sociology and psychology and like human behavior. I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to do that. So it's not a matter of like emotional or EQ. It's more just a matter of I want to be an effective coach and I want to be an effective training partner. And so just like that desire makes me seek out methodologies to be better for myself and for my students or whoever I'm training with. And I think that if you have protocols, because not everyone's going to have a high EQ, not everyone's going to recognize, like most of the people that we think of as being like spazzy or goons or whatever, they don't know that they're spazzy. They're like, I don't think very many people go into a role being like, I'm going to spaz the fuck out and injure my training partner on purpose. I think that's extraordinarily rare. So I think if it's talked about, if it's addressed, that's something like, so one of the other things we do at our club, we've got our intro, we talk about concepts, we talk about how we're going to teach you. We use a lot of gameplay. The other thing we have is a safety and etiquette policy, and we make everybody read it. It's almost 2 pages long, and we make everybody read it and sign it because that way you can't say, oh, I didn't know. Right? There are expectations that we have of you to be a safe training partner, to be a considerate training partner. And if you don't fulfill those expectations, then there are consequences. So the consequences might be you get talked to, but they also might be you're banned from rolling for 30 days. It might be you're banned from rolling for 90 days. It might be you're kicked out of the club. So depending on the infraction and how yada yada. So we want to create an environment where that is something you have to think about, whether you have an emotional intelligence or not. You just know that it's part of your responsibility to care for your training partner. So yeah, I wouldn't say that's for me. Comes from like, yeah, because I've had to learn it. It's not something that comes naturally to me to understand subtle, emotional cues. So it's something I like. If someone like me can work on it and get there, anyone can do it.